everyone. Or good afternoon.
I feel like, go ahead and finish your spiel, and then I've got thoughts.
Oh, that's really all I have. Good morning, everyone. That's all I prepared for us today.
I feel like it's the Hairspray musical, Good Morning, Baltimore, but it's not Baltimore. We're not in Baltimore. No,
We are not.
We are not. We're not even close.
Not even close.
I do think, though, that if we had like a standard dialogue, you know how like with James and Emily from Ready, Set, Keto, they say like, ready, set, keto. Like they, you know, like they
So
do their
cute.
thing. I wonder, it's adorable, but also we are not coordinated and organized and well, you know, developed creators of content here.
Right.
So
well, and I feel like our viewers have come to expect that. So if we all of a sudden started having it all together and having like a catchphrase, they'd probably unsubscribe.
Or they would start to expect that from us in other content. And then it's like, what do we do with that? Because I can't keep up.
We really can't set the expectation too high. Like,
I mean,
you know.
Uh-oh. We have a voice from
from 2 seconds in the past coming.
2 seconds in the I cannot focus on that. So there we are.
Got some comments coming in. Sylvia is here and Michelle is here.
Hello.
Low carb introvert. Have you seen
new one?
Yes, it is. Welcome. I'm glad, even though you're an introvert, that you chose to comment. That is a big step. Although commenting on YouTube sometimes is like the easiest thing for the introvert. It's like the in-person thing. Speaking as an introvert myself, so.
As shocking as it is, I too find myself restoring and regenerating my energy whenever I am solo.
Yes.
One might not assume that, but
it is actually interesting to find out how many YouTubers are actually introverts.
Yeah.
And it seems counterintuitive at first, and then you're like, oh, wait, they're just talking to their camera alone in their house. So that makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah.
Right.
Because we do like people. It's just sometimes we need some distance from people. That's all.
Well, and I think that the expectation of performance or like being yourself all the time is kind of aggressive. Whereas like I can still be me, but for like small snippets. My energy level, it just, you know, it's like a battery. It drains and you got to go recharge.
Yes.
And then once you're back at full battery, you're like, okay. And some things are the C type C charger and they recharge you really quickly. And other things are like a really slow USB that just kind of like takes all night.
Oh man, you're speaking my language. Okay, let's see who else is here. Jennifer Fine is here.
Hello, Jennifer. We got to meet her at VideoCon. That was cool.
Yes, we did. Crazy Muslim is here.
Hello, Crazy Muslim. Abdul. I've been doing phonics today with Lauren, and I tell you what, I question every phonetical sound in the English alphabet.
I love it when I'm reading with the kids, and I'm like, just sound it out. Oh, except the O says this here, and actually it doesn't say that. So
right.
Every single word I'm like giving them a different rule than just sound it out.
Right. Yep. And memorizing all 73 phonetic like sounds in the English language is a lot to expect of the humans.
Yes, it is. So I started, I think I told you, but I haven't told the rest of the peoples that we started working on reading with Levi. Like it's kindergarten is social.
Yep.
And so we sat down with the first Bob book. Maybe you other homeschool moms out there know Bob books, but you know, Matt sat.
Yep, he sure did.
On Sam. Yeah. So he read the first Bob book. And let me tell you what, he was so pleased with himself. Like
now he gets to be part of the club.
Yes. Oh my gosh, he was over the moon. Had to show everyone and tell everyone. And when is Dad getting home so I can show him my book that I read all by myself?
He can't get home fast enough. That's when he's getting home. Not soon enough.
Yes. Lainey is here from Western Australia.
Hey, that's
Excellent.
awesome. Cheers to
Robin is
Thursday.
here. Yes. Lori Higgins is here. Claudia. Jennifer is here. Jennifer's asking about Amy and family, and I have not
Yes.
spoken to Amy in a while, and I'm taking no news as good news
Right.
because, yeah, go ahead.
I have spoken to her. I guess it
Good.
must have been like a week or so ago, a little more than a week, 10 days or so. And they are doing fantastically. She has definitely settled into the rhythm of their school year right now, and things seem to be going very well. She seems like she has relaxed some.
Oh, good.
You know, she's just kind of
That's what she needed.
back into a good baseline space.
Good.
Maybe she'll pop in today.
That would be wonderful.
Not in the video though, because we don't know how to make that happen.
But
I'm not technologically advanced enough to sort that out.
Right.
That's actually not true. I am not technologically motivated to figure that out.
Okay, Lori is sharing some interesting stuff that I am not aware of. Tell me if you are. What's going on with YouTube? Dr. Berg just had a very interesting video about how they are silencing anything about keto. I found that I was unsubscribed to both of your channels.
What?
That is weird.
That is fresh information to
I'm gonna have to
me.
find that video from Dr. Berg because I have not seen it, but maybe I haven't seen it because it's been silenced.
Ooh, burn. Now we're in a catch-22. How do we manage this?
Oh yeah. Oh, look.
Well, first of all, thank you, Lori, for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah, I'm totally going to watch that. Yikes. It's like, come on, people. Keto? Really? I have not noticed like a dip in
It's big pharma. It's got to be. I have. I mean,
have you?
Yeah, but I've also noticed that like my subscribers they just kind of keep bouncing back and forth between the same 2 to 3. And it does seem like my views are, like they're on the low end of normal for me. Yeah. And, that is a little bit disheartening, but it's not my livelihood, so I don't really fuss about it.
So right now, and actually for the last several months, my number one video on my channel is carnivore protein noodles. Recipe, like where I did the crepes and cut them up into noodles.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'm getting like 7,000 views a day or something stupid ridiculous.
That is stupid ridiculous. Wow.
7,048 hours or something. I don't know. I don't pay a lot of attention to analytics, but sometimes it's fun to see like, because certain videos like that, like I made that, a year or so ago. And it's like, they'll just kind of be going along like nothing. And then all of a sudden it's like they shoot up into the heavens.
Yeah.
And I feel like the carnivore label, and it's BBBE friendly. Also, I have a tag of BBBE. Like those videos are the ones that are going crazy. And like, so keto channels, not doing great. Carnivore channels seems like to me, if you label recipe carnivore, whatever, it's well. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Like why would carnivore not be censored, but keto would be?
That's interesting.
I don't know.
That's interesting. I have now added it to my watch later list.
Yeah, and let's give him lots of views since he's being silenced.
But also let's give everybody else in the space that you appreciate views.
No kidding. It's not like Dr. Berg needs extra views.
I mean, not even that. Like, find out the information, and then if it is the case, and you're like, hey, I really haven't seen so and so's videos in a while, then seek that out.
So that's another reason why, or another reason why I'm happy that I've chosen not to name my channel anything related to a diet. And why I'm happy that even though you don't grow as fast and don't get as many views, doing a multitude of different topics like grocery hauls and farm videos and stuff, it's like, it's not the way to grow a channel super fast, but I hope that it can help me stay a little bit under the radar where I'm not just like keto 100% everything.
Sure.
So,
Sure. Huh.
um,
That has my wheels a turning.
yeah, I know it's crazy.
Risa's here, and so is
Yay. And
Dustin, and
Cindy
Miss Cindy
anyways. And
Blaze.
so Sarah Joy is here. Let's see.
Hello.
Thanks. Um, beautiful day in Illinois. I am at my sewing machine. Oh my gosh.
What are you sewing? I used to love to sew, and I have set that hobby aside for a little while.
So I have never loved to sew.
Mm.
Well, I take that back. I attempted to do like quilts and stuff, patchwork quilts back in the day, and I enjoyed it to a degree, but I found that it's just not my thing. And now it's like any kind of sewing that I have to do is like something I have to do. Oh man, I do not have the temperament
To be
for
a
that.
seamstress.
Yeah.
I just had our sewing machine out here 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 at this point. But Jared and we found a tiny little sailboat, and we bought a sailboat. I don't know if I shared that on the internets yet or not, but little bitty 19-foot sailboat, so we can start learning to sail, so that we can it's just like the next step for us to be able to go blue water sailing on a giant catamaran. We figured start small, smaller amount of risk, and then move up from there. But there's some V-berth cushions that we washed, and got cleaned out, and there was some pretty significant rips in that. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just stitch it up, and it's no big deal. And then Jared had a pair of work pants that had like a pocket that was falling apart, and I was like, I can do that too.
Wow.
Drop them.
Wow.
Give me the pants. I will fix the pants. You can put the pants back on.
Oh, hilarious. Okay. So this is Trey Food Deluxe, but Tracy. Okay, so she's off to work, so she's maybe gone already, but wanted to say hi. And so she works at TJ Maxx, and she saw Autumn, Talia, and Charity shopping for dresses.
How fun.
And so they got to get recognized. I wasn't even there, and they got recognized. It was so great. So that's awesome.
That is really cool.
Dustin is here.
Yes.
And we already said Cindy. And Bonnie Sherwood is here from Anchorage.
Alaska or Maine?
Is there an Anchorage, Maine?
I feel like there is.
Oh.
I'm going to search it.
We're aware of all the Anchorages.
There's an Anchorage, Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
Anchorage, New Jersey.
Wow.
I felt like there was one in Maine. Maybe that's a Portland.
Definitely a Portland.
Nope. I'm sorry. I was thinking of Portland.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, Lori, I don't really know how all that works. I know that YouTube can go in and like delete inactive accounts and stuff like that. And so sometimes when we as YouTubers see a drop in our subscribers, sometimes people are like, YouTube's just, taking away all my subscribers and silencing me. But a lot of times they're just like cleaning out bot accounts or inactive accounts and stuff like that. So there are different reasons for that. But then if you are an active account and you lose your subscription to another active account, I don't really know how or why or how to explain that away.
Sure.
It's really weird.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be honest with you, it would be fantastic if it was literally like, okay, people who have actively watched your channel within the past 6 months and are subscribed, stick around.
Yes.
But like all of these like fly by night and then abandon the channel things could just kind of be like, okay, that was a temporary subscription. So you know that your numbers are not just like overinflated.
Right. Yeah. It is disheartening to see those numbers, but you do have to take it with a grain of salt. Like, they weren't real people anyway.
Right. I do definitely care more. Yeah, I care more about the views in general or the engagement in general.
Oh, for sure.
Also, like I said, I it's not my bread and butter. And so it's kind of hard for me to devote the kind of attention to it that I would have to if it was my sole source of income. So,
yeah. Let's see. see. Eclectic Cabin is saying they're silencing everything to do with natural healing, etc. Yeah, that's disheartening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you said, big pharma.
Big pharma is at
No,
it
we shouldn't
again.
be talking about this so much, or else we're gonna get
Next.
yeah.
We'll be next.
Yeah.
Who's next?
If we disappear, you'll know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like the growing on YouTube thing is kind of a double-edged sword where it's like, yeah, we love to see lots of new subscribers and interest and views and all that, but then the more you grow, the more the eyes are on you and the more you're a target. So a lot of times you can fly under the radar. And so it's like, let's
yeah, it's a delicate balance for sure.
yeah.
You know. And I think also whenever you do get to a certain size, you become a little bit less personal or personable with the people that you have coming to see your videos, because you're trying to draw that bigger audience and be a little bit more just like middle of the road almost.
Yeah.
And you're, you know, a lot of those bigger channels, they try to teach you how to keto or how to do this thing, or here's a starter guide 101 more or less. And I've never been that person. So to me, I'm like, you know, I'm just showing the things that I do. And if I drop some sort of bit of information along the way, that's handy. But I don't know that doing dedicated, like, here is how to XYZ, unless it's like a recipe. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. So for me, my YouTube watch list, like, I don't watch Dr. Berry videos. I don't watch Thomas DeLauer videos. Like, and very occasionally one will catch my eye and I'll be like, oh, that's interesting or different.
Sure.
For the most part, it's like I've heard, you know, most of that stuff, and it's not even designed for me necessarily. It's designed for the scroller on YouTube who doesn't know anything about keto. Or, you know, and to draw, and that's great. Like, that's just a different kind of video for a different kind of person.
Sure.
I click on, yeah, the things that I click on are like your videos, like, oh, I'm gonna hang out with Lindsey, or I'm gonna, you know, hang out with Anita from Ketogenic Woman, like in her kitchen, like, what is she doing today? You know, it's like checking in with a friend.
Right.
And even Nisha's videos are more like that than Dr. Berry's videos. Definitely. It's just like, I'm just, you know, I'm interested in them as a person, rather than, oh, you know, doctor, please teach me about gallstones. I don't, you know, it's like that. I just don't click on those videos. You know, it's just a totally different kind of genre, I guess.
Agreed. It's, you know, entertainment versus education. And while there is the edutainment section, I think we fall more towards entertainment with a touch of education. Right. And they tend to fall more in the education, hoping for some entertainment value.
Yes. You got to have a little bit of mix of both, you know, in order to do well. But yeah, it's just different.
It definitely is. I had some other thought in my head and then I lost it. So it clearly was unimportant.
Yes. Okay, let's see. What have we missed anything here? Any questions?
Oh, Ivy Dixon is in Auckland, New Zealand. It's 5 a.m. That is fantastic. Wow. Good morning.
Good morning. Lisa Quinn is babysitting her grandson.
Fun.
Yes.
Very cool. Oh, Sing It was watching Dr. Berg's video right before coming over here.
Wow. Is he going viral for being silenced?
Oh, I don't know. But did you see the rest of it? If you want to pop her comment up.
Okay. Is it this one?
Algorithms are redirecting people to healthy videos by doctors. So
is Dr. Berg not a doctor? He is a chiropractor, right?
He is a chiropractor, which is technically some form of an MD, I think. I don't know. I think it may depend on where you get your degree and license.
Yeah.
Because I feel like chiropractic falls under, you know, it's not allopathic. So
yeah.
But go ahead and you can read that out. Oh no. That was the same one.
Is that it? Okay, that's the one.
What I hear you saying without saying, so I'm extrapolating this, is basically in order for something to be seen, it needs to be labeled healthy, and then somehow say something about veganism, but not say anything negative, and then perhaps it will get picked up.
That is interesting. It is difficult because it's like I don't want vegans to be silenced. I don't
No,
want any of that to not be available for people.
right.
We want everything to be available so that we can make our own decisions and choose. And it's amazing how much influence you can have just by directing the internet traffic. And I
Absolutely.
mean this is something that's gone on in other countries
For
for a
sure.
long time, and it can direct the culture. And
Absolutely
that's a
again.
lot of power and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, not something I'm excited about. Let's just say that.
Definitely not. But I think that as people start to pick up on these little like tweaks that are happening, the creators are going to start to notice that as well, which means they're going to start to hunt for the loopholes in order to try to circumnavigate all of those things. And then eventually the platform will probably just disintegrate in front of us.
So
And we'll
so,
say we
like,
had a
make
good
sure
run.
yes. Make sure you're following, like, your favorite people, like, their email list if they have one, which I don't. Um, you that know their website address, different things outside of the social media accounts.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if they just disappear, how are you gonna find them?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel that tremendously. And then I also know that there are lots of subscriptions that I have in my YouTube account where like the channel stopped making videos 9 years ago, but I'm like, but I also go back and reference this one video
Yeah. And
or
if they ever did come back, I'd wanna know about it.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So it's like the social media search engine of YouTube is very, very complicated to try to sort out.
Yes. Okay. So, question here about making bread with real egg whites. So, there, as far as I know, there are no recipes where you can just take fresh egg whites, whip them up, and bake them into bread, without lots of other ingredients, um, because there's too much moisture and they need to be condensed. So the way that you can condense the egg whites is either take some fresh egg whites and add egg white powder to them, and that like reduces the amount of liquid in that mixture. Or you can do all powdered egg whites with water, but not so much water that you're totally reconstituting them. They're still condensed. And then the last method that I have done and been successful with is taking fresh egg whites and dehydrating them about in half. So you're condensing them by just letting the liquid evaporate off. It's a lot of work, not very fun. But if you want to not buy egg white powder at all and you have a dehydrator, that is a method that you can do. I have a video. Let me see if I can find it here. It's it's a egg white bread made with no egg white powder. It's not easy, but it
Possible.
exists. Okay, let me find it.
Yeah. Do you remember how low or what temperature you had to use on your dehydrator off the top of your head?
I
Because I'm
oh,
thinking like if somebody has an oven, usually the oven
okay.
lowest it goes is 170, but you
So
can still dehydrate at 170.
so I did try that in my oven and it was a little bit too hot. It cooked the egg whites too much.
Because it goes above the 160. Is it 160, 162
I
for egg whites
forget.
cooked?
It's something like that. It's not much lower than 170, and I was like, "Can I get away with doing in the oven?" 'Cause that would make it so much more accessible, but it's like the egg whites were, like, half cooked, so when I whipped it up, I actually got a real interesting texture. It was, like, almost like a pound cake texture,
Oh,
um, And that's kind of like what Chris Cooking Nashville did, because he
Oh,
used some cooked egg whites plus no, cooked eggs plus frothed up egg whites and combined them and got like a different texture. Anyways, so it didn't quite work in the oven at the 170.
I see.
But
Yeah, when I said that and then thought about it a nanosecond, I was like, wait a minute. They start to break down the proteins at like 160, 62-ish, somewhere in there. It's hard to remember the chemistry on that one.
Yes. So that's the only trick is you can't just cook the egg whites to get the water out. You have to do it at low enough temperature that you're not actually cooking the egg whites. So yeah, it's not an easy thing, but it is possible.
Yeah, someone, let me scroll. Eclectic Cabin suggested a Rumble account. I actually do have a Rumble account that
I do not.
I have linked it up to where whatever I put on YouTube is uploaded over there as well. So
Does it do that automatically?
when I set up Rumble back when we were at the old house right before this house, I set it up and I'm pretty sure there was a link or a setting in there that you could select to have it automatically pick up from.
Yeah. For me, it's like adding another thing.
Right.
Uploading to YouTube is enough work, like trying to just add something else. But if there was some way to do it automatically, that would be.
Yeah, I have not touched Rumble.
Okay.
Like maybe like a week or so after setting it up. So it was one of those things where I just set it up, I set it and forget it. That's basically what happened. Set it once and then forgot about it.
That's amazing. I love that. Let's see.
We've had lots of comments. We're so excited that y'all are here today.
Yes, we are.
We're so glad that you're here on a Wednesday. And I appreciate y'all showing up on Wednesday after we did this for Tuesdays for so very long.
Yes. And for those that didn't hear last week, we are permanently moving to Wednesdays. So hopefully this is a good, I mean, all of you on here, apparently it's a good time for you. So hopefully.
Or at least it's acceptable enough for today.
Yeah. Okay. Michelle, thank you, Michelle. This is why you both have me for always. You have appeal because you reach the masses with real life and you do these chats where all the friends get to hang out chatting with you and each other. We love it.
Oh, thank you.
It is so wonderful. So did we start our chats in December last year? Is that right?
I want to say it was December, if not like maybe the tail. No, it would have had to have been December because maybe it was November. I feel like it had to have been December because I didn't have the issue of being in Texas and trying to navigate doing that until April when we went to KetoCon.
Yes.
And the last time we were in Texas before then was Thanksgiving. So it had to have been December.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll be at a year before we know it. It's crazy.
I know.
And it's been so fun. Like I love this.
It's so fun. so fun. I need to stop doing that. I realized that I sing that a lot.
So do I.
Jared said that to me and I realized where it came from. It was from Marco Polo with one of my friends. Like we both do it to one another and I don't know who started it, but it's just like part of our vernacular now to just sing at some random note.
Yes. Well, you just feel like you have to keep talking, but then you have to read at the same time. So you have to like do something vocal that doesn't.
That's right. That's right.
You have to think for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. So Sarah is sewing together scraps of fabric together to make a quilt top. She can't attach a picture here. No, you cannot attach a picture in the comments.
That's cool though.
She said she sent us a picture on the IGs.
Oh, nice.
Okay. I see another question that I would love to tackle. If you see it. It's from Sing It.
Does it start with Lindsey?
It sure does.
There it is. There it is. We got it.
Okay. She went back all the way back 6 years to me being pregnant with Lauren, the baby, but not overweight. What made me come to low carb and Ketoville? So that's a fun story.
Yes.
We have about half an hour before we can get off. Got to gauge that.
There you go.
So, okay. First and foremost, I actually started going keto in January of 2016. So a full year and a full year before we got pregnant with Lauren. And I went to it because of Trim Healthy Mama at first, which THM, and I know you commented saying, oh, that's what THM is. So I was struggling with being overweight at the time and lots of inflammation, lots of acne, and I have a TMJ issue where my mandibles, like the cartilage between them, the cushioning between them is inflamed a lot. And so I've even gone through TMJ specialists and that sort of thing. And I'm trying to regroup in my brain. The sugar is what I figured out was harming me. We had moved from Alaska to Wisconsin in the 2015-2016 timeframe. I was feeling super overwhelmed with the fact that I was, what on earth is that? The quilts!
Just wanted to pop that up there real quick.
Wow, that's awesome.
That is amazing. Sorry. I interrupted you.
That's fantastic. So January of 2016, I had already been following a Weston A. Price sort of thought process when it came to food. Sally Fallon's Nourishing Traditions. I was following a lot of her techniques, making my own gingerbread, my own kombucha, my own kefir, sourdough, like all of the ferments, except for kraut. I need to do that someday. But I was doing that way of life, not really caring about carbs, not really caring about sugar. And I am a sugar monster. So it came to January and I said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I found Trim Healthy Mama, and because they are faith-based, I was drawn to it immediately. And I started following the Trim Healthy Mama plan and figured out really quickly that I was not doing Trim Healthy Mama the way that they have it designed. I was actually following a low-carb keto way of life because the carbs really jacked up my brain. But I would always try to add carbs back in after a little bit, like a few months down the road. Let me try a bean burrito that I make that's all from scratch. And I would be ravenous all the time. I could not do it. I would try to make my homemade bread or sourdough bread, which was acceptable in small volumes on the Trim Healthy Mama way of life. And I would still wind up with breakouts, soreness between my mandibles, all of the brain fog, just over inflamed everywhere, retaining water, hungry all the time. I don't know. It was just a mess for me. So I started doing keto in the 2016s, and I dropped I want to say I dropped right at 20 pounds really quickly, like within the first 3 months. And then I was able to maintain that all the way until we got pregnant with Lauren. And then I couldn't stand the thought, smell, taste, anything but like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Okay. So your body knows what it needs.
So it was either eat the Cinnamon Toast Crunch and vomit half the time, or eat nothing and vomit all the time, or eat normal, like, healthy for you foods and also vomit all the time. So it was kind of the lesser of the evils at that moment.
Yes.
And then whenever I was nursing Lauren, I went back to a Trim Healthy Mama way so that I could keep my milk supply up with carbs. And I found that I was not really like following THM then. I was just doing all crossovers and S meals, which are the low carb, high fat, and then also adding carbs. So it was fun, but I am only 5 foot, almost 3. And I gave birth to Lauren. I was 188 pounds, I believe. And she's the one that I gained the most with. I also got down to my pre-pregnancy weight the slowest with her, which was kind of irritating, but I did get back to my pre-pregnancy weight. And I just personally find that my inflammation in my jaw and my skin is reduced whenever I am eating this way. I find my hunger is much more manageable. Like, it's not completely gone, but it is much more manageable eating this way. And it also does help me kind of maintain weight. Like, I'm within a 10-pound weight range at all times. So there we are. That's why I low carb keto.
Yeah. A lot of times, people start the journey for weight loss, and then they discover all these other health benefits. And it's funny how many of us are, like, I'm speaking about myself, I never have gotten down to the weight that I want to be.
Mm,
And so if I were just doing this for weight loss, I'd be like, well, this diet doesn't work.
right.
But when you experience how your body feels eating this way and, getting your protein amount dialed in and all that, it's like, oh, I'm not doing this for a skinny body anymore. I'm
Right.
doing this for a healthy life.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, and I know for me, like most of my joints are going to start to deteriorate as I age. So why not eat a way that doesn't cause greater inflammation? Or why not eat
Exactly.
a way that builds the muscles so that I can strengthen the support system to the bones?
Yeah.
Like everything is kind of working cohesively together. So if I can support one area, hopefully that'll help to build up another area. I don't know. That's just
Yeah.
me.
It's just amazing how much of a disconnect there has been in the conventional medical world from how food affects your health.
Yeah.
And I think it's changing a little bit, although probably way slower than it should, but it's like there was like 80s, 90s era where doctors would say food does not affect your health. Like at all. Like, even if you had some kind of a gut inflammation disorder and they're like, "Food doesn't make any difference with
Mm,
that." Like, literally, and if you said anything about, "Does changing the kinds of food I eat, you know, is that gonna help me maybe?" You'd get laughed at, like, that
yeah.
food is nothing, and it's just like, I it's so mind-boggling.
Yeah.
To think like how did we get there? Like this idea that all these man-made technological advances with medicine and stuff that trumps something like food that's
Yeah.
just food. It's just food. It's similar to, like formula being created and it being promoted as better than
Right.
breastfeeding because science, created it and we put all of this work into figuring this all out and breastfeeding that's old fashioned, and thankfully that thinking has kind of fallen away, but it's just interesting how we had that time and we're still like trying to dig ourselves out of that mindset
For
of
sure.
food. And so obviously when you're overweight, it has to do with food because it's all about calories in, calories out. So the
Absolutely.
only thing that food can do for you is make you lose weight.
Hmm.
But all the other health things, we have a pill to fix all of those things. Anyways, it's it's a mess.
It's very, very messy. And I will say the humankind, the fact that we are able to see a problem and innovate and create something to attempt to help that problem. I love that ingenuity. I love the creativity that goes into all of that. I think we also tend to lack the ability to step back and say, what's the flip side of this coin? If what it does is so great, what is it also like not doing? What's
Yeah.
the cons? And what are the cons that we might be missing? Let's have an outside visual on this. Like, okay, if this is what our pro con list looks like, and we're this close to the whole issue, what does somebody that's this far away from the issue think that our pro cons look like? And we
Mhm.
just don't have enough space, or we don't have enough maturity to really allow other people's assessments to impact in a way that, I don't know, that improves things whenever it's somebody saying something negative against whatever your innovation might be.
Mm. Yeah. Question from Eclectic Cabin. I assume to me, although you do Wellness Wednesdays also, but
I did used to.
yes. Um, are you doing Wellness Wednesday today? Have you noticed any difference in being dairy and nut free-ish? I'm with Lindsay on the nuts. I know she loves her pecans. Yes. Um, so I've been trying to figure out what to do about Wellness Wednesday because we've switched our coffee chats to Wednesdays, which that's not a problem. Like I don't mind putting a second video out on Wednesdays, but then I was like, should I? Should I change it? But I've been doing Wellness Wednesdays for I don't know how many years now. I mean, I did Wellness Wednesdays through my pregnancy with
Renee.
Renee and Levi, and they were pregnancy updates. So anyways, I am planning on doing a Wellness Wednesday type video this week. I didn't do one last week because like I was so confused last week. We had our chat on Wednesday, and it wasn't until like later in the afternoon I was like, today is Wednesday, and I didn't do one. And I was like, I don't know. I was just totally confused. So I didn't get one done, and I like put up a different video, and like after I posted it, I'm like,
wait a minute,
it's Wednesday.
What day is
That's
today?
kind of how my life is going right now. So you get what you get, and that's not a Wellness Wednesday last week. So anyways, I have a plan to do a Wellness Wednesday. I don't think I'll be able to get it out today because my schedule. It's like I keep thinking, all right, today we're going to stay home, we're going to get school done, and then something else comes up. So I have to go drop off and pick up things for my husband because he like works and stuff and he needs help. I don't understand it all, but
priorities.
I know he's like trying to make money like to support the family or something, and so
then we can eat food.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's what I'm doing this afternoon. What?
The thing that would actually solve all the problems is if we just didn't eat food anymore.
You know what? That's like my dream.
To never eat food again.
To never eat food and to never have to feed anyone ever again. Like that is what we spend our entire lives on as mothers, is feeding.
Well, and just always coming up with what's the next food item, and
yes.
then being shot down with we're tired of that, or I don't want that, or I only want what I want, and I'm going to complain and ignore the fact that you just put all of this effort into figuring it out, which is like 87% of the battle.
Yes. But then at the same time, there's so many joys in food, and
there really are.
Food is delicious and fun, and you can be creative, and then you can be hospitable, and
it's just a matter of getting the naysayers to come in and be like, okay, it's your turn today.
Yeah.
You get to decide. And also, I'm going to tell you I don't want it and I don't like it.
Yeah, we should try that on them. Okay, question here from Forever Tanya. Have you considered testing the chicken flour with oat fiber instead of bamboo fiber? So I have only done one like flour blend. That's the video I put out yesterday. And I made the one loaf of bread with it. And I have a little bit of the flour left. I have done nothing with it. I'm not like experimenting with it and trying to figure anything out. Like I tried it. It was what it was, and it's probably not something that I will do regularly. Yeah. So I don't have any plans to do that. Yeah. I guess that's all I have to say about that.
I am not inclined to test out the bamboo fiber at this point in time because I know I'm going to buy it and then I'm going to stick it in the pantry and then it's going to sit there for 7 months. And then finally I'm going to pull it out and say, oh, we need to do things with this.
Yeah.
And then it'll sit on the counter for a month.
And I bet that if you were to take, that flour recipe and just use oat fiber instead of bamboo fiber, I bet it would work fine. I haven't found huge benefits of bamboo fiber over any other kinds of fibers. They seem to be pretty comparable in the ways that I've used them so far. So I'd say go for it. If you can't find the bamboo fiber, I bet oat fiber would do the same thing. All right, let's see. Anything else that we need to answer here?
There's one from Lauren Glass. The Instant Pot does not have a temperature setting. Do you see that one?
Yes. Okay. How do you know the correct temperature? It says it heats up and then goes back down to approximately 110. Okay, so there are different models of Instant Pots, and some of them have adjustable temperatures and some of them do not. So I'm assuming the one that you have does not. And within the yogurt setting, there are a few different modes. One of them is boil, where it pasteurizes the milk. And that's something you do before you add any kind of starter or anything, because that will kill the starter. So that, I don't know if that's the one that you're talking about that says it heats up and then goes back down. I'm not sure, but the fermenting yogurt setting does not boil first. There's two separate settings. So if you're making the El Roederei yogurt, you don't use the boil setting at all. You would only use the ferment setting, and it heats up to, I think, 110 maybe.
Yeah.
Does that sound right? And what I have found is if you put your yogurt mixture in a separate container, not in the liner itself, and you don't put any water in the liner, you just have it dry, so you have your container of yogurt starter, like, on the wire rack in the Instant Pot, it will stay a little bit cooler than if you had the yogurt mixture in the liner itself. So I found, yes.
Demonstration.
Show and tell.
We have the liner.
Yes.
For our Instant Pot. We have a trivet.
Yes.
We set her down in there. We have a jar that we put our yogurt in, and we just set it carefully on top of the trivet. I always put a touch of water in the bottom. You don't necessarily have to do that.
Either way.
But, and then you cover over top of this so water doesn't get into it, or condensation doesn't get into it.
Yes. And so if you do it that way, the liquid in the jar stays a little bit lower than the 110, and it is low enough typically to not kill the El Roederei.
But it's still warm enough to actually let it culture.
Exactly. So it works out pretty well. You just have to, not make the yogurt directly in the liner. So there you go.
Also on Instant Pot Mini and on my 8-quart, which is just like the original 8-quart one, there is a high and a low setting, I believe. There's maybe it's I want to say there's a low, high, and boil on the yogurt setting, if I'm remembering properly. I could be misremembering.
Yeah, on the older ones, they had like a congee. Was that what it was? It's some kind of an Asian fermented thing that we don't really make in the US, or not as aware of. So it was a different temperature, and you could set it to go for like a lot longer, I think.
This one is the mini, and I would pull out my 8-quart, but I don't have it. It's in a thingy, and I'm backwards. Dag nabbit. Let me shift you around so you see properly. Nope. Front camera. Mirror. Am I?
Let me see. No, it's backwards. It's reversed. There it is. Now it's right.
Okay. So on my mini, here is what I've got. So I wind up using the yogurt button.
Yes.
And I don't have it plugged in because that would make too much sense. But I want to say whenever I hit the yogurt button, you can hit it multiple times to get from boil to low and high. But I don't have any of the other kind of interesting options.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know if Lauren got all of that, because she left some comments that that she wasn't very happy with our conversation, that we didn't get to her question. So I don't know if she's gone or not. Well, and our conversation about not needing food is silly. So okay. All right. Mike says I could use some culture in my life, not gonna lie. Yeah.
Wait a
Yep.
minute.
We
Wait a
all
minute.
could.
That feels like a multifaceted kind of a statement. Like culture, like personal, like community, like what the people around you do, or like fermented cultures in your food. I feel like both are kind of necessary.
Yes. Oh, and he left a comment earlier about bamboo fiber. Yes. Are you a panda? Apparently, the keto people decided they would be panda bears. Or is it
Pandas are bears, koalas are.
but do koalas eat bamboo also? I think they do.
No, they eat eucalyptus.
Eucalyptus, that's what it is. That's what it is.
So maybe, is there such thing as a eucalyptus fiber? We're finding out.
Uh,
Let's tell it. Eucalyptus fiber. I know you can. Oh, no, don't. I know you can get sheets that are made from like the eucalyptus fibers and stuff, but I don't know about food.
yeah, so it's funny. I got a lot of comments about that, like bamboo fiber. Bamboo is not a food, but I mean, bamboo shoots are in Asian food all the time.
All the time.
So I don't know.
Nope. Natura fiber. Nope. That's not it. Nope. Not finding anything for a eucalyptus fiber.
Yeah, bamboo bag is huge. Yeah, I have a big bag of it as well that I mean, I also have a giant bag of acacia fiber, I have a giant bag of oat fiber, I have a giant bag of psyllium husk, and I don't really use them very much and very often. Like it's pretty rare. So they're gonna last me like 100 years. Seriously.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. I do want to try the egg white wraps with some bamboo fiber in there. Have you done that? I mean, you haven't tried bamboo fiber, but you've done the egg white wraps with other additions,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. So I've added I've got mine that I like, my version that I've been doing since, I don't know, a couple years, 3 years back. And that one is with my baking blend, but that's got nuts in it. So it's one of those things where if you're trying to avoid the nuts, that's not the one for you.
Yes.
And then I have done it where I take out the baking blend and I put in Carnivore Crisps chicken flour, and that works really nicely. But I also tend to add psyllium husks to my version because there's just something about like the texture that allows it to be a little bit more pliable. And it gives more of a cornmeal texture to it, which I prefer corn tortillas anyway.
Yes.
And so it works out beautifully for my enchiladas. And what else I can't remember what else I've tried, but I've not just done straight oat fiber before.
Okay.
So that might be an interesting thing to try. But doing the Carnivore Crisp, like the chicken flour, that definitely works.
Okay. I'm gonna have to try that. That sounds good. Just giving them a little bit more like structure and bite.
Yeah.
I mean, they function the way that they are, but
Right.
it's not, I mean, it's obviously not the same as a corn tortilla or a flour tortilla. It's different.
Yeah, but I fooled a lot of people at my home group with my enchiladas.
Oh, I bet with the enchiladas, yeah, if it's covered in like sauce and cheese, it's like it's a tortilla.
Well, and my grandmother, when she was alive, she would make sour cream chicken enchiladas all the time, and they were everybody's favorite. Everybody requested it. Everybody always requested my grandfather's like barbecue sauce for brisket, but they always requested her sour cream chicken enchiladas. And so I kind of took a recipe of hers and sort of like flipped it on its head to make it keto friendly. And I use those my egg tortillas with like my baking blend stuff in it, or the chicken flour. The chicken flour is clutch, and it also clucks. I can't with myself. Anyway, so I had, a group of 10 adults and 6 kids that gobbled them up and were going
Nice.
back for seconds. And these are people who are very much fully enveloped in the standard American diet way of life.
Love it
And
when you can do that.
it was one of those moments, like it could have been a Simba moment, a Lion King moment, but I didn't do it. I didn't do it at all.
Should've.
I did not.
So Amelia says she thinks eucalyptus is poisonous to humans. So I'm glad you did not find a eucalyptus.
Eucalyptus fiber.
Plants are trying to kill you.
Plants are trying to kill us. Actually, I think, excuse me, I think the reverse is actually true. Plants are trying to defend themselves from being killed.
That's true. That's true. Let's see. Just got some butter powder and carnivore chicken flour. Some indigo bread and ketogenic bagels are in my future. Can't order anything else. Be kicked out of my own house. I know what you mean.
That's funny.
You need to start a YouTube channel because then you're just like, oh, it's just for the channel. It's for my YouTube channel.
Right.
It's a great excuse to order whatever you want.
Right. So I struggle with the ordering the things because money's, but then also where do I put it that I don't wind up losing object permanence with it? Because once it goes into the storage space, it is no longer existent until until I'm like, I require this thing, and then it becomes the room of requirement from Harry Potter. So
oh my gosh.
I'm like, oh, I do have that thing. Cool.
Very funny. Okay, so Sing It, are you gonna do Anita's bagel recipe? Because I saw hers come up a week or two ago that looked really good. I forget how they were carnivore. I know that much. But they looked really yummy. I wanted to try them. Yes, Sing It. We do have stuff that's sent to us to play with, so that does make it more doable.
Sure.
Say that.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And I hope that, when we do get stuff like that and we're able to experiment with it, it helps others to either see if it's the right choice for them or not. And when they do get it, if they do, have some, tested recipes so that they're not having to do all the experimentation themselves. So
for sure.
That's what she said, yes, I assume that means for the Anita's bagels recipe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I have been feeling the need to experiment more, but of course September was supposed to be a low-key month for us, and it is not that.
Same. Yeah. Oh, so busy.
It's fine. It's fine. I just regret trying my CKM this month.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
But I was hoping to get it all said and done before Keto Palooza so that I would have that out of the way and it wouldn't be intermingling with everything. And alas,
I understand.
The best laid plans.
Keto Palooza is coming up. Less than a month.
It is less than a month away. Oh my
so
stars. What?
So exciting.
It is very exciting. What are we Oh my word. We've got 3 Fridays until it happens. We've got a little over 3 weeks.
Yep.
That's just bizarre. Yep. How bizarre.
It'll be awesome. All right. Well, we are coming up on an hour, and I think we got at least most of the questions, unless I just missed any. Yeah. Anything else you can think of that we need to tell the peoples?
I can't think of anything else, but also I'm reticent to say goodbye because it means we have to go work on school.
Yeah. I feel you on that one. I do.
It's been a day.
School.
It's gonna be great.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Oh, Lori says she's going to do CKM and CGM for the next 2 weeks.
That's so fun.
You can learn very much a lot.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed a lot.
Very fascinating.
Super fascinating. Very cool. What else? Yeah, I think we may not have hit everybody's. But
did we miss anything? Do you know of anything we missed?
I don't know of anything that we missed, but also it's hard whenever the chat's off to the side and not in my line of sight. It's great. It's great. Diddy-dum. No purpose if you don't eat food. Agreed. Yeah, I think we may have gotten everything.
All right.
But we'll be back next week to chat it up. And
yes, we will.
Yeah, we appreciate all of your questions.
We do.
And we do go off on tangents, and we are unstructured with these chats because it's just hanging out, not necessarily troubleshooting hour. So
yes, and like we titled the video "Coffee Chat."
Yeah,
it's not a Q&A necessarily, although we do try to answer the questions that come through.
Sure.
So
yeah,
there you go.
Awesome. Well,
okay, so Lori's asking about the freestyle not being able to open the CGM. I don't know what you mean by won't open, like the actual package of it or like the app, or I don't know, and I have not had that experience, so I do not know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I really don't. Have it not open. And like you couldn't open the package, or the app wouldn't like do
Well,
what?
she says she's had 4 that will not open, so I assume it's the actual CGM. But that's weird.
That is very bizarre. Have you contacted Abbott about that?
I hope so, because 4 CGMs are pretty expensive.
Indeed. Teresa said she's had some that are really tight.
Oh, maybe like the twist off?
Oh,
it will not unscrew. Weird.
That sounds defective. Is there a different technique with it? I'm assuming that since Lori is here talking about it, she probably is savvy enough to search that on the YouTubes to see what other people are doing. So I'm assuming that there's no answer out there.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I wonder if there was some kind of a malfunction with the perforations.
Well, she says it's the actual CGM. Like, that is infuriating.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I hope that they are taking care of you, like, financially.
Oh, they are sending. Well, she said they're sending her new ones.
Oh,
that is a plus, but also like that is super frustrating.
It is weird.
Have you seen some of the ones? I know SciBio is actually coming out with, or they have a CGM as well. They do, but it's in European countries right now.
Okay.
And it's smaller than the Libre, but still just as thick. What's that one? Is it like there's one that's coming out, or that is already out, that's like the size of a nickel. And I'm like,
oh yeah, the 3.
That's pretty nice.
I know. And so I asked NutriSense about when they're going to move to that, because they are planning on it, and there was some kind of a test group using it.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know when it's supposed to roll out for everybody. So
sure.
I hope so, because that would be nice. Not having to scan it.
Well, and not even that, but like as thick as these things are, like if it was more flush against the skin, I would be less fearful of like knocking it against a wall.
Yes.
So I am always running into things. It's almost as if like my peripheral vision sometimes it's just like not working with me. So
yes.
Risa, her question earlier, we did not see that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, sometimes you got to put it in a couple times because we do miss things.
We are very good at not getting everything done.
Lemon juice stabilizes egg whites. Yeah, I have heard that. And apple cider vinegar or some kind of vinegar also works.
So basically anything acidic. I wonder if doing the lemon juice or the apple cider vinegar would work using the water with the egg white powder. I wonder how that would function.
Yeah, I don't know, but I have heard that it's an option. So if you don't have cream of tartar, that can be a...
Yeah, and cream of tartar does have carbs to it, right? It's like minuscule, but it's still there. So I
Yes.
wonder if apple cider vinegar being acid or just white vinegar being acid would
Yeah.
stabilize and eliminate those. Fascinating. Okay. More baking science.
Yes, and I have not tried it, so, I don't have any experience, but I have heard that it is an option.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sing it. Yeah, hopefully, if you have, like, the pre-diabetic, uh,
Diagnosis.
diagnosis is the word I was looking for, that they will prescribe a CGM. Sometimes they can be so difficult with that, but hope
Although I personally really appreciate Joe from Two Crazy Ketos. His approach of, all right, let's go ahead and note this. And also
so
note
I
that
can
you're
sue
not,
you.
well, not even that. It's just like, let's just make notes.
Yeah, yeah,
And then it's in your court there, doc.
yeah. Wow. Uh, oh my gosh.
Channel lock
Analog
pliers.
pliers? Wow, that should not be necessary. But hey, if you got it open, you got it open.
Yeah, but also like
That's
channel
crazy.
locks are a pretty serious tool to have to use to open up
That's crazy.
my stars.
Yeah, everyone's saying good luck to sing it.
Yeah.
And oh, so you went from A1C 5.6 to 5.1 back to 5.7. That's frustrating.
That is
Very
frustrating.
frustrating. All right. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
It is past an hour now. We really
Yeah,
should.
it is. At least the kids won't get into it.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my gosh. They would figure out a way.
Accurate. They'd be like, here's how you do it. Ding.
Yeah, yeah.
And you'd be
Oh
like,
my gosh.
I am bigger than you. How did you do that?
Seriously. But then they can't find their shoes or socks or,
My
okay.
favorite is the water bottles. It'll
Oh,
be right here on the table, and the kid will walk through. I can't find my water bottle. I know it's in plain sight, but I just can't see it.
yeah. What would they do without us? Seriously. All right.
They
Thank
might
you
not be as
everyone for joining us and for chatting. We will be back next week. We are on Wednesdays now at 10 Pacific, 1 Eastern, and
one.
there you go. We'll see you then.